again, 2 in a row here. I'm on a roll. Um, I get a lot of emails from so many wonderful people, and oh, just God sure knows how to put everybody together, doesn't he? He really does. And again, I've said this from the start. I'm just like you guys. I'm just like you. I go through the same, trials. I go through the same family things, everyday things, you know. Um, used to be rich, now I'm poor. Okay? I didn't understand it then, you know. Didn't how we can't see when we're going through these things. We can't see why they're happening. We see that we think we did, what did we do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve this stuff? Right? We can't see that God is allowing this because he's got to pull us where he needs us. You know, he God has marked all his at birth. I've said this before, but for the new ones, he all his are marked at birth. Not everybody is of God. Not everybody's of God. Not everybody's are his. And so at birth, he marks his. The enemy knows who's his too from birth. And so the enemy has watched us, and he's made a beeline for us. Okay? He's not going to worry about who's already his. He's got them. He doesn't want them. He doesn't have to do anything to make them stumble or fall or to cause, anything in their life, discord in their life, because he's already got them. So he ain't going to worry about them. But God is marked. Again, I don't know why. I don't know who they are. I don't know what does one from the other. I don't know. I don't know that. But I know they're marked. And they're picked. So, he knows exactly. Of course he has some that have refused to believe in him or have walked away from him. It may be a huge part of their life. But he knows the exact time that they are going to come to him. He knows the exact day. He knows the exact hour. And it's all timed perfectly. Perfectly. Okay? Perfectly. He knows. He knows. And so, to get us there, though, and he allows things to happen in our lives. Doesn't cause them. Doesn't cause them. He allows them. Okay? He allows them. Because we just think we know everything, right? We do. But when you are one of God's children, and you belong to God, you know it. You know it your whole life. I don't care how many times you walked away from him. I don't care how many excuses, we wanted to make, so we could make more excuses to do what we wanted to do. You know what I'm trying to say? That we know what's in us. We know. From a young age. I don't care. You just know. Now, we try to ignore it. We try to make reasons for it, and then we think that that he just always has us. That, he's got me. I know it. And then all of a sudden things in your life start happening. You're like, wait a minute. I'm special. God's always had me. And what's going on now? All of a sudden now, I just have bad thing after bad thing after bad thing happening. This wasn't supposed to happen to me. Why is this stuff happening to me now? Has God forgotten about me? He doesn't love me anymore. We all do that. Well, no. He's putting you where he's got to place you. Because he knows everything. He knows what's going to happen, what's happening, what's in the process of happening. And so sometimes when we don't have that, of course, good sense to walk away from a path we're about to head on, or we make that, we have a choice. in something and we pick the wrong one, there's always a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G with God, okay? So it removes us from that path, right? And puts us on another path, but we're going to end up at the same place, okay? But now, because we made that choice, now we have to learn the lesson, okay? We have to learn the lesson and the teaching he wants us to teach so we don't ever do it again. We have to take the consequence for our actions. Now we're on that path. Guess what? It's not up to you to decide, not up to me to decide when we get off that path. It's up to him. But at the end, we're going to end up exactly the same place he had us going to end up over here. Okay, it's just a longer road. So then if we keep making those choices without him, we make them on our own, and they're bad ones, you can get on another path. Okay, now we're on that one. Now we got to learn that consequence. Now we got to learn that lesson. And this explains how we get in our life. And we think, when's it going to change? Doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter what I do. I can't get off this road. When's something going to change in my life? It doesn't matter what I do. The same outcome keeps coming. What? How long is this going to take? Because you know why? Just because you went off of it doesn't mean he's going to let you. You got to follow it through. Got to follow it through. It's so much better, so much easier when you know this. Okay? He's got a plan. There's a lesson down there he needs you to learn now. Okay? Because now you're on plan C, D, E, or F, or whatever. But now there's a teaching and there's a lesson that you got to learn. So quit fighting it. Quit fighting it. Learn it. And just know, he's the decider of the time of how long you're on that road. Okay? So quit fighting it. You know, go to him and say, Lord, I get this. I get it. I get the call. I see what you're doing. Please, Lord, let my eyes be opened. Please, Lord, don't let me walk ahead of you anymore, because that's what I've been doing. And Lord, walk ahead of me, Lord. Walk ahead of me. Clear this way. Clear this path. Get your hand in there. Move it. Do your will and not mine. Let me have discernment. Let me have divine sight. Let me have divine hearing. Let me have divine knowledge and understanding of your Holy Spirit and what you're doing in my life and the things around me. Please, Lord, bless me with that. Okay. But you have to, when you're on these paths, you got to quit blaming him. You got to quit asking why. Got to quit asking why. Okay? You too. You got to quit asking why. Keep whistling. Whistle while you work every day. And keep walking down that. But get the lesson. Get the lesson. You know what? It's what we overcome in life. It's what we overcome in this life. God loves the overcomers. Loves them. Loves them. He's so happy. He's so happy because through everything that he has allowed to happen in our life, at the end, we're standing there going, thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much. Because looking back, I look at all the hurdles and all the holes, potholes and everything, but you know, I'm standing here today loving you more than I ever have in my entire life. And I'm so thankful because you've given me sight to see all of this. It wasn't done to hurt me. See, people, again, they take it personal. They think they've done something that you think you're the exception in this. And what you have to know is you're the rule. We're the rule in this. We're the rule in this. He is building you. He's building you. And sometimes in our life, it takes us to be just raw and naked. It takes us to be just completely broken. Broken. Just broken. Can't catch your breath. He's peeled you like an onion. And now he's peeling you back. He's putting his own layers. You know, he's ripping off these worldly layers, these false layers. And he's building the layer of truth on you. He's building you for what he needs you to be and what he knows you're going to be. Okay? And he'll give you the answers. But you got to quit asking why. Got to quit fighting him. Got to quit fighting him. Got to quit fighting him. Okay? And you gotta quit blaming him. Gotta quit blaming him. But when we're going through that, we don't know that. We don't know this. We don't know it. It's just our flesh, how we react to things. All his are marked. He's got a plan. He's got a plan. When during the tribulation, he sends us back, right? He sends us back in our infused body, with our supernatural gifts, and we help throughout. But every single thing that you've been through in your life, everything, you don't know how it works now, because it's hard to see how everything we've gone through can help somebody in the tribulation, but it is. He's going to put it all together. Every single thing you've been through, he's going to use for good. Everything bad in your life, he's going to turn it around, and it's going to be used for his glory and his good during the tribulation. So know that. Know it. You have to understand, every single day of your life, every waking moment of your life, battle between good and evil. God, the enemy. God, and then there's the enemy. God loves us. The enemy knows who's marked. Enemy are going to keep souls. Get that soul. Get that soul. Anything God loves, he wants, and he wants to wipe it out. He wants to do the nana 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 boo boo to God. Okay? Understand this in everything. In everything. So before, the enemy comes in front of you with the nana nana boo boo words, know what he's doing. And know that they are nana nana boo boo words. Who cares? Okay, how many words are said a day? Let him go. Let him go. Don't react to him. Don't react. But the enemy is always going to come for you. Always. It's just part of the game. I mean, you just got to wake up knowing that. You have to wake up knowing that. So you have to be aware. Because when you don't know that, you can't understand. You can't understand how to get firm footing in your life, in your daily walk. If you do not understand the battle between good and evil, that really is just the basic, it's the basis for everything, is the good and the evil. Okay? You are marked for good. God's are marked for good. The enemy is trying to pull you for evil. Okay? And if he crushes you enough in your everyday life, defeat comes in. You just get worn out. You give up. You all hands in. You give up because it's too hard. Okay? It's too hard. And you give in. You give in to that spirit, that dark spirit, meaning it's just defeat, spirit of defeat. All of that. Depression is a spirit, okay? And all of that stuff is the opposite of the sevenfold spirits of heaven. Okay? They're the enemy's spirits. Well, if he keeps plugging at you every day, he knows. He's done this for a very, very long time to gazillions of people. He knows it. He knows it well. He knows how to play this game. Oh, so good. And he knows if you keep chopping at a tree, you might not have the sharpest axe. If you keep chopping in the same spot every day, every day, every day, some days you get a little more strength than others, the tree is going to eventually fall. Okay? And not going to get back up. And that's what the enemy wants of you. Okay? He can hit you with a dull blade every single day. And eventually you'll fall. And that's what he's counting on. That's what he's counting on. We open doors. Wouldn't you have loved to have known that when you were young? I'm 51 years old. Let me tell you this. I wish I would have known this. Especially when I was 20 years old, when I got married. I would have understood those arguments. I would have understood that friction, that confrontation, of a newly married couple, having a baby and having all that edge in there, right? Having all that stress, right? Because boy, it was just a feeding ground for the enemy. He had to be doing back handsprings in my living room. He had to just be doing total, toe. I'm sure he had the whole team out there, rah, rah, rah. Because you don't know. We didn't know. But now, another gift. See, the Lord's given us this. He's given us this great knowledge of understanding. This is a mystery that He's given of what this is and how to get through this mind. It's a minefield. We walk every day. Every day is a minefield of our life. Okay? To navigate without stepping on the mines, you need Jesus, because he just pulls you straight across them. Okay? He knows where to put your feet on firm ground where there's no mine. Okay? Because that's what our life is. It's a total minefield. Now, how many times we walked across that mine, totally blinded, because we don't even have a clue of where we're walking. We don't understand the strategic placement of things, right? Right. But when I was young, and opening doors, open them all the time, but not knowing it. Not that there were bad doors, not that there were big doors, cracks, turning bigger cracks, turning wide open. And once that footing is in there, anything to cause more. Didn't know how to navigate through that. Didn't understand it. There's an agreement, again, from the beginning, from the very beginning, between Satan and God. We know this, right? We know that Satan, he's the ruler of this world. His title is Prince of the Air. Okay, and he has other titles, but again, somebody had to give him that title. Someone had to appoint him that. It was God. Does God do these things? Does He allow these things? Did He allow the enemy to have this position to hurt you? No. It's weeding. You know what I'm saying? It's the weeding. It's the weeding out. It's the weeding out of who's His and who's not His. But it's, you understand too, it's the testings, and it's the faith. It's all about the faith. It's about the faith. Because if we did not have these trials, if we did not have these testings, if we did not have these attacks, well, how we get through them and overcome them and how we stand at the end, that's our rewards. That's our big old treasure box in heaven, right? That God, every time things like that happen, He stores our treasures in heaven, okay? So by allowing these things through our life, there's multiple reasons, but He's taking what the enemy was meant for harm, and He's making it for good. Because as we maneuver through these, and as we overcome these, He rewards us. We just can't see it, but it's our rewards in heaven. It's our rewards in heaven. I mean, He blesses us here. He does. But our true rewards are up there. And so if you don't see stuff here, and you're like, but I've been doing this, and He's not blessed me at all. He's not given me, I've not gotten my rewards here, or whatever. Well, hey, think of what's in your box up there. Oh my gosh. Nothing slips by Him. Okay? He's storing it all up there for you. Know that. But the enemy, there's an agreement. Okay. When we do things, Okay, and we all know the enemy is our accuser. And Jesus says he goes day and night before the throne of God accusing the brethren, accusing you, right? Yes, he does. That's said, right? We know that. Okay, so we know this is true. Jesus is our lawyer. He's the only one allowed in that courtroom. So if you don't have him, you ain't got nobody up there fighting you. So God, if God has to allow whatever is going to happen because the enemy went up to accuse you, and you have no lawyer up there. Really, what it is Jesus is after Satan does his rant and accusations. You have Jesus just sit there at the table going, "Okay, are you about done yet? I got some, about done." Because then he just stands up and says, Father, excuse me, Father, excuse me, they're one of mine. They're one of mine. You gave them to me. They're one of mine. God says, okay, case dismissed. Next. That's what happens. That's what happens. He says, Father, they're one of mine. But if you don't have him, enemy gets it, right? Yeah. So you don't, but when we do things, we open doors. I don't know how, it's get that footing in there. And the enemy has right. He has right because it's set out before. It's set out. When this happens, bam, blah, 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 then this is what I get. This is how much time I get, or this is how much footing I get, or this is what, And it's all by law. It's all by God's heavenly court system. His kingly thing. It's the way it is. But if you don't know that, I just wish I would have known it then. And how we do this, okay, is by listening to the enemy. Okay? It's when we react in our flesh. This flesh, okay, this is our door opener. This is our, this is what opens the doors, is our flesh. Because the enemy cannot read our thoughts. Remember this. He can't hear your thoughts. He can't read your thoughts. But he knows who's marked at birth, and he's watched you since birth. He knows your routine. He knows what pushes your buttons. He knows what gets you frustrated. He knows it all. So he just starts there. And so he gets you festering. Whispers in your ear, gets you festering, get you sitting there talking to yourself over it, and get you all worked up. Brings back memories, thoughts, bad things that you long ago let go. But now he wants to bring them front and center. He wants to bring them all right back to you. Right back there. He wants you to fester on them. He wants you to think about them. He wants them to hurt you all again. He wants you to bring up all those emotions, from that. Don't do it. Because thing is, he knows if he just piles us on, it's going to come out. We're going to say something, we're going to act, and come on in, party time. Come on in, party time. That's how he opens doors. And it's the domino effect from that reaction, okay, that keeps those doors open, or that causes openings of other doors, that causes dysfunction in your life, and it just like that. So know this ahead of time, because then each time, all the dominoes that fall after that from that one thing, okay, if you're not aware of this, each of those dominoes, opens, leads to something else, okay? Another reaction, another something. And so each door opens. By the end, the enemy, he don't know which one jumped through first, okay? And guess what? Now you just have days and days and weeks and weeks and months and years of this aggravation in your life. And you don't understand it. So what do? You blame God. God, I don't know. What are you doing? And what do? You get mad and you walk away. You think he doesn't hear you. He doesn't love you. Because he's making this happen to you in your life. Well, no, he's not making it, but he's allowing it. And he's allowing it by right. Because there is a agreement. There's an agreement. So, I said this a gazillion times. Change your routine. Change your routine. Fight it. Fight it. Fight it. Give it to him, but don't go there. And when you do open a door, immediately stop right then and there. Say, Lord, I'm that child just got the best of me right now, and I can't even believe those words came out of my mouth, but they did. Lord, please right now forgive me. Forgive me, Lord, right now. Don't let this. I'm sorry that I did this. I'm sorry I reacted in the flesh, but right now, Lord, please forgive me. Forgive me. Get it done. Shut that door. Shut it. Okay, right then. You have to know these things because this is what defeats you. This is what defeats me. Everybody. And we didn't know. We didn't know. Because we take everything personally. Of course we do. But what happens is this takes people away from God because they start believing that he doesn't hear them and he doesn't love them. And then they start thinking there's no God at all. And then they say, well, a good God wouldn't allow all this bad stuff to happen. God wouldn't allow this to happen and these innocent babies and these innocent children and all this stuff. You know, I don't know why. But there's also generational curses. There's generational blessings and there's generational curses. You have to know when you come from a generational curse. Look back in your family. Do you have generations of alcoholics, drug abuse, whatever it is, poverty? I don't know. You know, I mean, it's something that continues. Break it, break it, break it. It's a generational curse. You know, then you have the generational blessings. You know, you have generational blessings. You have both. It's the good and the bad. But you have to know these things. And by not wanting to think about them or not wanting to it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. You have to know these things. It's your armor. It's your armor. It's your armor. Okay? So, because it's just so easy. It's so much easier to blame God for things. It really is. Than to understand. Take the time to understand him and how he is. He's all love. He's so loving. You know, all this is just to get us to get back to him. You know, so he can walk and talk and be with us again. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what he's doing, but people just don't see it. You know, there are casualties. There are casualties of war. There are casualties of any war. But know this. You know, when we see a tragedy or a disaster, our heart just breaks. We're like, oh, those poor people, they didn't even know what hit them. Okay, you know what? Of course, I'm a crier. I cry over everything, you know, and that just breaks my heart when I see anything like that. But you know, he says, no, I've got him. Know that I am in control of everything. And when something like that happens, I've already handled it. My angels are on the spot. They are right there with everybody whose mind who passes, who is in something like that. He's there. He's got his angels there. And so whatever preparations, whatever last minute, last second things need to be done, he's got it. And so if those people die in explosions or die in, let me tell you, they are immediately with him, immediately. And they don't even know. There's no sadness. There's no sadness. They're so happy, so happy. They have this wonderful new body, you know, of a 25-year-old. They're not going through that trauma that we think they are. It's just the opposite. Oh, be happy for them. I know it's hard, but oh, be happy for them because the Lord has them. And babies and children, you know, babies and children, when they die, they don't die and then all of a sudden get to heaven and are as a person. They're babies and they're children, and they grow in heaven just like they do on earth. Okay? But the Lord, He just gives them. They are so happy. They don't have any of that sadness. Okay? These children that are abused, or die of hunger. You know, He's there. He sees it. He sees it, and He's there with them. And you know what? He allows them to pass, but He takes them to a better place. He takes them where they're never hungry again. He knows what their life is going to be here on earth. So if He removes them at that age to give them the better life, don't ever feel sorry for that. Thank Him for that, because that's how wonderful it is. You know? That's how wonderful it is. And some, some are taken. Some are taken because it brings the ones that God needs to bring forth from that death to the place where He needs them to be. Does that make sense? Whatever change, sometimes when a death happens in a family, I believe it changes many, many lives, many, forever. But the changes that are made from this death, okay, always changes at least 1, 2, or 3 people's life for the good. You know what I'm saying? It changes them and glorifies Him, because it I don't even know how to explain this. A death is for somebody. Okay? It is for somebody. It is for somebody to see, somebody to change, somebody to whatever, to move them. Okay? I don't know how to explain that. It wasn't done to punish. It wasn't done to punish at all. At all. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? When my son Trey died, his death, I mean, his funeral was massive, but his death brought 15 people to the Lord. I mean, truly changed their entire life. Changed them. Changed their whole life. My son's death did that. How wonderful is that? How wonderful is that? How can I be upset over that? How can I be upset over that? You know, God knew that would happen. It's a shame that it took that. It's a shame that it took that for everybody to be all in. You know, not just have a foot here and a foot here, but his death made everybody all in. That's the difference. That's the difference. So, you know, but his dad, my son's dad, you know, I look at him and I say, you lost a son. You have 2 other children. But yet drinking still comes before that. I don't know what it's going to take for you to see what God was trying to make you see. You know, I hope you see it soon. But boy, I don't get it. So he missed it. He missed it. So don't miss when we have deaths. Don't miss, because you know, because he knows. That's the thing, is down deep inside, he knows, but he's not facing it. He won't face it because he don't want to change. But the Lord, you know, Lord, and that's what I think a death does. It's to bring everybody to that next place that the Lord needs them to be, or to see what the Lord needs them to see. Okay? It's not about punishment, and it's not because that person that died was bad or anything. No, God used them. He used them in His kingdom. So you know how rewarded they will be and how blessed they will be? Do you understand that? So don't be sad. It's so hard. I was the worst case scenario. I was devastated, a devastating grieving mother. Devastated. Okay? But I knew immediately. I knew immediately. So, you know, it's to get that all in. But those children who die, God says, I got them. I got them. They are instantly with me. You know, so wonderful. Playgrounds up there. Playgrounds. It's got playgrounds. They play. You know, swimming and okay. Heaven, first of all, it's not some floaty, ghostly place, right? Okay, look at the earth, and you know, let's just forget about all the yuck in the earth, you know, here. But look at all the beauty. Look at all the beautiful things we have. Multiply that by, I don't know, a number that's infinite. Okay, because earth is just a little part of heaven. It's not even comparable. Earth's not even comparable to heaven. So think of all the things that we have on the earth. We have them in heaven. Only a gazillion times better, more beautiful. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay? But you have lakes and rivers and oceans and you know, everything we have here and what you do here into there. But it's just perfect. There's nothing dies there. Okay? It's perfect. You have a life in heaven. You have a life in heaven. And how many of you, you know, you think about heaven, you know, you want to go and you think, okay, I mean, Lord, I really want to go. I mean, I love you and I want to go, but I mean, but you think, do I gotta work? I mean, am I gonna be worshiping God, you know, at His feet like 24/7? Is that all we're gonna do is worship God up there? Because God, it's not that I don't want to do that, but I mean, come on, it sounds kind of boring. But I don't want to say boring because then I don't want you to think I want to go because you are everything and everything is praise for you. But Lord, really, I mean, is that what I'm gonna be doing? You think it's kind of boring, right? Mm-mm. He knows that. You know, Jesus had told us that that would be a spirit of slavery, and that's not what it's about. You understand? The infusion, when your body is changed, when our body is changed, when we are infused with God's Holy of Holy Spirits, everything changes. Your cell, everything, right? Every organism in you. In heaven, everything you do, everything you do is praise to the Lord. Okay? So let's say you are a woodworker and you have a woodworking shop, right? And you'll have the most wonderful woodworking shop, okay, that you have up there. And you will and you love it, but every move that you make, everything you chisel, everything you do it with such joy. You do it with such love and happiness and peace. That's praise to the Lord, because every part of you, every particle of you is in pure perfection and joy, and it's a natural praise to the Lord. See, isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? Okay, whether you know, when I said that the children who die here on earth and the babies and they grow up as babies up there, you know, they're raised, they're taken care of by the people who've gone before us and also the angels. Just even that taking care of the children, the love and what you put into it is praise to the Lord. Now, there are times of the day where everybody goes and praises the Lord, right? Right? There are times, but it's not 24/7. It's not, you're not up there on your knees all the time, okay? You have a life in heaven. Understand this. You have a life in heaven. You have a perfect, wonderful life in heaven, okay? And it's our infusion that changes us, that our praise is, we're one, okay? I know that we're one with Him, right? Because we have a spirit in us. We're one. It's an automatic. Everything we do, every action, every word, everything, because it's perfected. We are perfect. And it's just so much joy and happiness and love that it just, everything we do praises the Lord. Okay? Everything. And then there's times that you have, you know, there's a time set out that everybody goes and praises the Lord and praises God on the throne. But you have a life there. You have a life there. You'll have You know, your dinners with your family. You have, only thing you don't go is the bathroom because you don't have that removal, right? But you have beds, you rest. Rest in heaven. Because rest is one of the biggest forms. But of course you'll have rest. You have homes, um, oh, jobs, everything. But it's all done. Do I think it needs money? No, I don't think there's any money. But I mean, you do it with just such love, pure joy. You have a life in heaven, know that. It's not some floaty place where there's, oh, you have a life there. And this is what you have to understand of what we go through here is for that life up there. This is nothing. This is nothing. That's forever. It's forever. That's why this is so huge. And this is why what we go through, when I say his rewards in our treasure chest, ooh, it's forever. Okay? It's forever. And that's what you go for. That's what you go for. So you don't worry. Stuff here is gone. You know, when you look at anything, don't wish for anything here. Don't wish for it. You know, of course, I'm like, I gotta, you know, I have to find a place to live. You know, I'm gonna stay here till the end of the summer with my daughter with a new baby, but by, you know, end of July, 1st of August, I have to be out of here, right? So, and I have to find a house to rent or something. But it's just, I just don't care about anything earthly, anything earthly. And so don't covet anything. And so when I think I'm missing out on something, just real quick, I mean, because we always, you know, I'm human too. When I'm missing out on something, I go, stop. Oh, that's not even standing there really, you know, that's nothing. And so I pull myself back away from that place. I pull myself back. And I also think too, if I can live without my son, I can live without anything. That's how I look at it. If I can live without my son, I can live without anything. But I know where he's at. I know he's waiting for me. I just truly do. I know this for fact. So, but it took his death, the day he died, in 2005. Again, I thought I was a Christian before. I loved God. I knew it, you know, all that. Boy, the day he died, I threw everything off, and I ran for the heart of God. I ran for the heart of God. I want to know God because I thought I knew him before. Thought my hedge of protection was up. Wasn't. And you know what he's taught me? Oh, I'd never get it. I feel like the most blessed person ever to have been taught this. He's opened my eyes. What a gift. What a gift. So if you found these videos, what a gift. What a gift he's given you. You know, I'm just like you. I'm just sharing what he's taught me. Sharing what he's taught me. I never in a million years thought I'd do this. Ever. But I am. So, please, know how to navigate through these minefields. Don't let the enemy goat you. That's all he's doing. He's goating you. Okay? You whistle while you work. You just walk in your peace and know you're not alone. It's a lonely walk. Okay? And you're different now. You're not part of that world. Unfortunately, you probably live with family members who are of that world. And they don't understand you. It's making it hard. But again, he's got you. He's got you. Okay? He knows. And he's got reasons for everything. Everything. And so he has you. He has you. And whatever you're going through, there's a reason for it. A wonderful reason for it. You may not get it now, may not see it, but there is. Okay? And again, treasures in heaven. Huge. Huge. So right now, you just have to be and let him do. Okay? You have to be and let him do. You have to stay in that walk with him. It's very important. It's very important. You know, you have to let him strengthen you every day. You have to. You have to let him strengthen you every day. Okay? We can't navigate because every day of our life is a minefield. You cannot walk in that minefield without him taking you. He can't. He knows where all the mines are. I don't, and you don't, but he does. So each day you have to give yourself to him, give your day to him, and allow him to guide you across those mines. Gotta do it. Gotta do it. Hope this helps. I love you. See you soon.